plenty of people have said it and talked about it. But what if Robbie Ashford is the next Malik Willis?
Freezing temperatures are likely for several hours inland and a few hours closer to the coast.
Yes.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate as Auburn message board legend Charlie 5 joins us as he does every single Tuesday. And look, ever since Hugh Freeze was on the hot board and eventually was named Auburn's head football coach, it was impossible not to tie, okay, well, what he did with Malik Willis, maybe he could do it with Robby Ashford. And so let's just speculate. Let's speculate just for a second, Charlie 5. What if Malik Willis 2.0 in fact is Robbie Ashford? What does that mean for Auburn? What's it mean for Robbie? What's it mean for Hugh Freeze?
So when you say that, is that just like, what if he performs, like has a similar stat line? Like, is that kind of what your line of thinking?
Yeah, I think so. Or just overall impact on an offense. You know, the next guy that Hugh Freeze gets his hands on, and then he just flourishes in that offensive system. So,
Malik's senior year, he threw for 2,800 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he didn't have as big of a rushing. I'm sorry, yeah, he did. He 891 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. So roughly,
40 touchdown season,
3,500 yards from scrimmage and 40 touchdowns. You're going to win a lot of football games. You're going to win a ton of football games, and it looked like Malik's first year, Freeze really kind of eased him into the passing game because he only threw for he only threw for like 2,300 yards his first year. But he ran a lot. He ran for almost 1,000 yards. So, and then the playbook opens up after that. Once he kind of figures out what you can do and what you feel comfortable with. I'm just saying, if Robbie as explosive, and he may be a more dynamic runner, believe it or not. I think so than Malik. He may not have the top end speed, but I think he may have a little bit more, side to side wiggle. Like Malik was just sort of a one read and go kind of guy.
Yeah, I get it.
If he's able to complete 60% of his passes, like. Mm-hmm. To me, 60% is if he can complete 60% of his passes, he's going to be a deadly quarterback. He's going to be a deadly weapon. Freeze seems to thrive with guys kind of like this. So if he could be anywhere in the vicinity of a Malik, you're going to win a lot of football games. You're going to be an explosive, exciting offense.
Now, obviously, you don't get to year 3, Malik Willis. I don't think Robbie's going to do that. Right? Like, I don't think he's going to have 3,500 yards and 40 touchdowns in 2023. But I think he could have. I still think he could have 2,800 to 3,000 yards from scrimmage. I don't know how much he's going to be able to protect the football. I expect him to probably turn it over a little bit higher rate than Malik did in his third year under Hugh Freeze. But still, like, if you do that, Charlie 5, 9-3 is totally reasonable, in my opinion. Am I off on that, or am I bugging?
No, I think that's totally understandable. Heck, he had he had 2,300 yards total offense last year, and he wasn't even the full-time starter the whole year. So, and that's in this type of the offense that we were in. Now, he wasn't very efficient at times. He turned the ball over a lot. Mm-hmm. But, one thing about Robbie, like, people act like their book is written. Like, you can't get better. Like, that's just there's nothing to it. You just can't get better.
Can you blame Auburn people for thinking that way?
No, I can't. I mean, and I get it. I get it because when's the last time you saw a quarterback get better from one year to the other? You could argue Bo Nix, but a little bit under Harsin, but that
Yeah.
regime is not.
I actually
here.
think you could argue a lot of more people than people really want to have the conversation about, but still, like, the end product wasn't what it should have been.
Right. Correct.
Like, did Nick Marshall get better from 13 to 14? Yes, but like that year wasn't about like Nick Marshall's shortcoming. I mean, he scored a ridiculous amount of points in the Iron Bowl and still lost. Like, that's just not, that wasn't really it. But, and that doesn't really fit a lot of people's narratives. But as a general rule, yeah, I mean, I think the development aspect of quarterbacks at Auburn for the past decade it's been tough. But like, did Sean White get better? Sure. I think he got better over his time at Auburn, but like how it ended, and like he was an Elite 11 quarterback. He never hit that status. Jeremy Johnson got better, right? But just we thought he was coming in way better than he was at any point. And so it was a total bummer. Total bummer. But statistically he got better from year to year. It's just the floor was so much lower than we thought it would be. So yeah, I mean, it's left a lot to be desired. I mean, what we did to Jarrett Stidham was like
criminal.
Unbelievably bad. Like, how did that happen? How did he take that big of a step back? Like, we ruined him, and then he goes to the NFL, and it's like, yeah, okay, like you're an NFL quarterback. You're a top 62 quarterback in the world. Like, good for you. So, yeah. So like, I don't blame them for feeling that way, but you got to think, and we thought it would change under Harsin, and it didn't. Surely it's going to change under Hugh Freeze.
Well, you got not only Hugh Freeze, but you have two other top, top QB coaches with just unreal resumes. So I don't know that Robbie is for sure the plan, but like I'm not necessarily concerned if that's who we end up rolling with, and we bring in somebody to help build like a depth piece to help build the room and compete with Holden and and Hank and whatnot. But the back to the genesis or the first question is, what if Robbie is like Malik? If Robbie is a 60% passer, if Robbie can complete 60% of his passes, Auburn is a hard beat. Auburn, it's going to be hard to beat Auburn. It's going to be hard to stop that offense, in my opinion.
If Robby Ashford has the jump that Malik Willis did, does Robbie finish his Auburn career with an SEC championship?
Maybe not an SEC championship, but a playoff appearance. I'll say that.
I'd rather have that anyway.
I'll say a playoff appearance, because like anything can happen in the SEC. If you lose one game, you really lose. It's like losing two games because you got to outright win it to get into the to win the West. And I don't even know how the divisions are going to work whenever they go to the 12-team playoff. But if Robbie can get to a 60, anywhere between 60 and 65% passer, you're talking about a playoff appearance in 2 seasons.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Charlie 5. I also love our partner at FanDuel Sportsbook. Be sure to give these guys some love, and the NFL playoffs are here, and we're excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because they're the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, that's even better, because they have so many features that make betting on sports fun and easy. And when you sign up at FanDuel, just go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. And new customers that join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Bet $5, you get $150 back. Are you kidding me? And look, if you we're booging already on the show today, but if you want to boog even more, looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook, Auburn's odds to make the Final Four plus 2,100. So put that free 150 down on that if you're feeling it, folks. But seriously, check out our friends at FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Charlie 5, our guest, as he is every single Tuesday. And since the last showing up, Charlie 5, Auburn now has a 5-star in this 2023 class. Keldric Faulk getting that 5th star courtesy of Rivals, which is obviously very, very exciting. And I don't think it changes my opinion on him. I think Keldrick Faulk is the most talented guy in this class. It's either him or Jeremiah Cobb, in my opinion, and I don't think that really changes. That fifth star doesn't automatically guarantee him more playing time. I think he's going to get playing time anyway. I think he's going to be in the rotation fighting for snaps and reps with Dylan Brooks and Elijah McAllister, but still really, really cool to see that Hugh Freeze came in, got Keldrick Faulk, and ended up getting a 5-star flip out of it away from Florida State.
See, I actually think it's a huge deal. And let me tell you why I think it's a huge deal.
Okay,
So Faulk played at a lower classification. So those guys on the defensive line always worry me. Okay. They always typically have incredible measurables, but the level of competition, it's just a huge step. Highland Home's 3 or 4A. I think.
Yeah, they're going up against 180-pound left tackles or whatever.
Right. And he's killing people. Okay. So at the end of the season, he was the 79th or 80th player on Rivals ranking. We always say Rivals is the best rankings of all. So
especially when evaluating Keldrick Faulk, there's no question.
Especially. But so at the end of the season, after all his football playing's done and the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game, he's right around the 80th ranked player. Okay. So how does he jump from 80 to inside the top 20? That's from dominating at the All-American game. The All-American game practices where he's going up against more of the best, the best offensive linemen. Think about that. The best left tackles in the country, the best guards in the country. And he was playing nose guard a lot too. He's playing all over the field. So he jumped because he was one of the most dominant players at the game of all dominant players. So that's where I'm like, okay, this kid's game translates to the college level, and
he weighed in at 260 too, right? Like he's just physically, like he's farther physically along than we realized.
Way further physically along than I imagined. I was thinking, he's probably going to come in around, 6'5", 240, be very lean. This is a big, physically mature kid who can run. Like right now, I mean, this is an avatar. He's an avatar. I mean, he is like a fake creative player coming in as a true freshman. Like if you recruited him on NCAA and you bring him in, he's an 86 to start off with. Like that's
true freshman, 86 overall. Wow.
When you get, that's like the top 5-star you can get. He's like an 86 overall. I mean, this kid, that's what excites me because I was very concerned about level of competition, and he comes in and he elevates his ranking by dominating more players that dominate everybody else. So like he whipped the best in the country to get his ranking, and that fires me up. That fires me up.
Yeah, and I've got a full theory on how I think the edge rotation is going to go, and we'll save that for another show because I think we could do like literally 30 minutes on this one topic. Charlie 5. Yes. But you're impressed, and you're getting fired up because it kind of came out of that last visit, and it just seems like all these kids just love Hugh Freeze. Yeah,
I mean, On3 had an article, and they quoted him where he was. I'm just going to paraphrase it because I don't have it in front of me, but it's like, hey, I was uncomfortable with the way things were before, and I was uncomfortable, and I was still uncomfortable all the way up until the last weekend before signing day. And Hugh convinced me to come to Auburn on an official visit because he got to retake his official visit.
So when I read that quote, and it came out and it was on everybody's story on early signing day when he officially flipped, but I read that more as he just didn't like Harsin. And didn't like the way like that. Like he would have gone to Auburn if it wasn't for Harsin. Like that's the way that so many people unpack that.
Sure. I get that. And I could see that. But if that were the case, why did it take until the Sunday before the dead period before he was ready to to flip? Like
I got you.
Hugh was in town. Hugh was in town for 2 or 3 weeks before early signing day. So it was the end of the very 1st of December. Signing day was December 21st, so that's 3 weeks. Sure. And you obviously don't have the full 3 weeks, so let's just say it's 18 days, 19 days. It took until it took him to them to get him on campus day like 17 and 18, and all it took was that meeting they said he was in the golf cart with Keldrick Faulk. Like that doesn't happen. Like Hugh Freeze, Keldrick Faulk 100% of the time, locked him down. And he talked about how, Auburn was my number one school. I was uncomfortable. Now I know it's the right place. And then I want to kind of parlay that, because you're starting to hear a lot of these things that sort of confirm what we believe we would be getting with Hugh Freeze. You got Alvin Henderson from Elba, Alabama, who is the number one running back for the 2025 class. Okay. And not in Alabama, in the whole country. Okay. He was here this past weekend and said something along the lines of, I've met a lot of coaches. I've never had a connection like I had the first time I met with a coach, the first time I met Hugh Freeze. And like,
wow,
that's just that's what we were able to sort of look past a lot, like sort of look past what had happened in the past. That's kind of what we expected, is that the guy can connect with college kids. The guy can connect on the trail with families. Right. He can relate, and he's going to be an absolute dog on the recruiting trail. And I think Keldrick Faulk, I mean, we haven't had a 5-star. I can't remember the last one we had under Gus. I have to really, really think.
Bo Nix and Owen Papo are the last 5 stars we got.
There you go. So Bo Nix and Owen Papo, and I don't even think, Bo Nix, it was a few different. He was a 4-star in some places. 4-star in some places. I think Owen was pretty much a consensus 5-star, but that's 4 years ago. Over 4 classes ago. So
yeah, I mean, Owen's down there in the Senior Bowl. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I mean, you walk in and you flip. Not only do you get a 5-star, you flip a 5-star. So it's a big deal, man. This is big boy recruiting, and I know we're going to talk about it in just a minute, but you got Junior Day coming up, and there's so much going on there to talk about as well.
Yeah, no, you teed it up. Junior Day, what this weekend means for Auburn moving forward and just the program as a whole. Can Hugh Freeze and this staff pull out something incredible and kind of get Auburn back on track? We'll touch on that in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Charlie 5, I know you do all of your Auburn shopping at this place, as do I. Alumni Hall.
Oh, yeah.
They've got physical locations in Auburn, in Opelika, and in Huntsville as well. And if you're not in any of those markets, that stinks. Total bummer. Just kidding. No, go to alumnihall.com. They've got the apparel, the jerseys, hats, drinkware, wall art, if you name it. They've got it. They actually have pictures of Charlie 5 up that you can purchase. That's not true. That's not true.
Full body size.
But Charlie 5 does like to go there. So if you want to be more like Charlie 5, you can go to alumnihall.com.
Absolutely.
Most recent thing you bought from Alumni Hall was what, Charlie 5?
I bought a sideline polo. You can get all the sideline polos, Under Armour sideline polos at Alumni Hall when they come out.
Yep. If you want to be like Carnell Williams, do that. So if you're an Auburn student or faculty or military, you can receive 10% off all in-store purchases with an ID. So go check out Alumni Hall in Auburn, Opelika, and Huntsville, or alumnihall.com. Charlie 5, this weekend is Junior Day, and so these are class of 2024 guys. Several folks have commented on yesterday's YouTube show, talk about the 2024 class. All right, we're about to do it. This is a huge weekend for all these kids coming in, Charlie 5. And this is kind of a span where you see some kids commit. Right now, yep. Auburn's got one guy in the 2024 class. Amon Hall, is that his name?
Amon Lane.
Okay, Amon Lane.
Yeah, from Moody, Alabama.
There we go. Yeah, outside of Birmingham. So what are you expecting this weekend?
Okay, so first of all, last year, you had Junior Day, and it was scheduled on Alabama's Junior Day, and nobody showed up. It was like an epic failure.
Yikes. And
Junior Day is always a pretty big deal. So this year, we announce our Junior Day, and Alabama does the boss Alabama move. They wait till we announce ours, and they're going to announce theirs on the same day as ours. So we're thinking, oh, here we go. It's a whole nother thing again. Everybody's going to go to Alabama, but this list is absolutely slam packed with top targets that may be on commit watch. Okay. So I'm not saying this weekend, I would be shocked if we don't have at least one, maybe two more added to the list this week. And you got guys that just like guys that can go. This is not just your dudes that Auburn's their best offer. I mean, you got guys that are committed to other SEC programs. You got DeMarcus Riddick, who every single coach, I believe, has been to watch this kid play on his basketball team at Chilton County High School. Hugh was there visiting on like one of the first times he could visit. All the coaches have been there. He's committed to Georgia, one of the top players in the country. You got Jamarian Fat Burnett.
Is he a linebacker?
Linebacker, yes. Okay. Jamarian Fat Burnett, Fat P-H-A-T. I love that nickname. I love that nickname. And he's a running back, and he is P-H-A-T. I mean, this dude is 6'2", 220 plus, and can run. He's a monster. He's one that can go anywhere, and he's going to be here. So, I mean, there's a 4-star cornerback from Tuscaloosa that's going to be here. So, I mean, there's just players like there's the excuses we heard last year. We're not hearing them this year. We're bringing dudes in top level, top targets, and I think we're going to have some fireworks this weekend.
So you think we see some bat signals on social media from the coaching staff?
There should be some looking eyes and maybe some freeze emojis and some eagles. Like there should be. I would be on the lookout this weekend. This weekend's should be pretty exciting.
Which coach bat signal do you like the most? Mine's Caddy's. When he says "got action," I will run through a wall as soon as I see that.
I think I like Trevon just because Trevon can't keep his mouth shut, so he's going to tell. He
just gets so excited.
He gets so excited. He's going to tell the business before he should every single time. So I got him on tweet alert. So when I see the looking eyes and I start counting them up, and I know, okay, that one was for. There's one set of eyes that was for the first one. Oh, now we got 2 eyes. We got another one coming. So Trevon's definitely my favorite. Hey, I just like recruiting, man. I just like recruiting being fun again. Like feeling excited about who's coming in, not feeling like we're settling. Like we're going out and getting dudes.
I love that we don't have to talk ourselves into stuff anymore. Where it's like everything's okay because of this. Like we're going quality over quantity. We did that for like 4 months straight last year.
Yeah, we would do a whole show of like, yeah, we actually really do like this guy. No, but like I want guys. You just look at a picture of him in pads, and you're like, that dude's that guy. Well, there's no doubt about that kid.
So we're driving down to Mobile for the Senior Bowl next week. We're going down on Sunday, and I was kind of booking all of the booking the Airbnb and all that stuff, and it's like that's when all the crap started happening a year ago.
Yep.
Because I heard like on that Tuesday, like, hey, it may be worse than you think it is. Really? What's going on? And then Harsin came down and spoke with the media either Wednesday or Thursday. We did a show after that, I think. And it's just like, yeah, bro, what's going on? And then that's when it like swelled and all this stuff happened. So we've come a long way. A lot has happened in a year, Charlie 5. And I'm glad we're on this side of it opposed to a year ago.
Yeah, like at some point in time, he was off in Mexico. Like, I mean, when we could have been recruiting, or maybe it was the dead period. I don't know, but like we're going from Mexico to we're out chasing 5 stars. I mean, it's just outrageous. And then all these new seasons, man. And then right after this, we're going to have spring football. Then we're going to have spring portal season. Then we're going to have summer recruiting again. Like it should be a fun ride. It should be a fun ride.
The way the portal has changed things with these 2 like windows, it's really made the college football season last longer, which is what the NFL's done with free agency and the draft and stuff. So I'm all about it. Charlie 5, how can people give you some love, my brother?
Absolutely. Follow me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5. You can find me in the Locked On Auburn Discord every single day. In the Auburn Live, the corner message board, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Find all my written work at auburndaily.com, and we will see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.